Thank you very much, everybody, for joining today's seminar. So today I'm going to talk about the Autodesk Construction Cloud API, and especially focusing on the project admin API, which we recently added. My name is Mikako Harada. I'm a senior manager at the ACC work group at the Developer Technical Services team, which is a part of the developer advocacy and support, and then Autodesk platform services, other bigger organizations. Today, I'm with my colleague, Tom. And so would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. So my name is John Wu, and I'm a principal developer advocate with Mikako's team, and I'm mainly focused on the AEC. I just transferred to North America two months ago from Shanghai. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so today's content of today's talk is we meant to be a public one, so we may not need to say this one, but just in case, especially when we have a Q&A, we may talk about some forward-looking, we may make a forward-looking statement. In that case, please don't make purchase decisions based on that. Thank you. And today's agenda. So I will go ahead and then talk about the project admin API updates and start with the overview, big picture, and then followed by each project and endpoints details, project API endpoint details. And then after that, Tom will go into a little bit detail about tips and tricks, including the GitHub, the Postman Collection samples, in case it might help you learn and then also troubleshoot in case you need that. And then I'll come back with a list of the known limitation and then open to the Q&A. Okay, first admin API update. So admin API is one of the probably the highly demanded features, and we had a little winding long wait period, but finally during the AU time we have announced. So the project and project users lead API was released as a beta during the summer, the June, earlier this year. And then during the AU time, this blue one, we released the project and project users write API. And finally, and then at this point, we are making both read and write as officially supported. We sometimes call it the general availability. That means that it's out of beta. And the main difference is that going back to the read API support both ACC and BIM 360. These are compatible for both products, while the write API is ACC only. Also, the authentication method. So the read API support both 3LO and 2LO, meaning the three-legged authentication and two-legged authentication, plus 2LO has user impersonations. While for write API, we only support 3LO and 2LO plus user impersonation, meaning that you always need to specify who is using this write API. And we are fully aware that some of the API is still partially compatible between BIM 360 and ACC. And then also there is certain the method is still missing. And we are still paying this as a high priority area. So just be aware that we are releasing this new APIs, but we still catch up some of the features. And admin projects, project users creation API is, as I mentioned, it's new to public. And we can create a project, not just empty project, but we can also use the templates. This is actually another highly demanded feature. So I'm very happy that this one is covered. And we can also assign product to the users in the project. Okay. And however, just to be aware, as I mentioned earlier, not compatible with BIM 360. So we also have a wish to have assign services to the users in BIM 360. That is still to do in future. And also not included in this release is that there is when you start using this endpoint, you started to see something called like job ID. Some of the REST API call is creating the job in the backend. That means that it doesn't return you the result immediately. So for the endpoint which return the job IDs, our wish is that, or long-term goal is that we can use this job ID to check the status, but this functionality is still to come. Instead of waiting the whole set of API to complete, we are releasing little by little because, and we can still use existing one in quite a good way. So we are releasing it. And then we also have some, especially professional developer asking webhooks so that, for instance, project creation might take a little longer than just one single call, especially since now that we are supporting template. But those finished or still in progress kind of webhooks notification is still not there. This is in a wish. We also have the industrial roles marked as not compatible ACC, even though it looks like it's working right now in ACC, but according to product teams, it's not compatible as a design. So those are the ones we are still waiting for the release. And then also, some of you who already looked at it already reported to us, creating a project is possible. However, update patch operations or removing operation is not available. Now, looking at each endpoint, new endpoint, we have 9 new endpoint, 3 for the project related, and then 6 for the project users created, project users adding. So the first 2 are about retrieving a list of project or creating a project getting a project information with a given project ID. And these 2 endpoints are compatible with BIM 360 and ACC project. So similar to what you usually see when you log into acc.autodesk.com, when you use the endpoint and then get into the product UI, you usually see the mixture of BIM 360 and ACC project listed. So you can think of that, it's similar to that, but it's specific accounts. And the get endpoint, as mentioned earlier, so supports 3 types, 3-legged and 2-legged, and 2-legged plus user impersonation. And then retrieving a template, you can use the same endpoint. So by default, if you don't specify, it lists all the projects. However, if you say filter classification, even though it's filter, it's actually changing the type of the project. So if you put like a filter classification template, then it will list the project template project. Post project is to create a project with and without the template. And this one is ACC project only. And then again, this one doesn't support pure 2LO, meaning that without any user impersonation. So please make sure you always use user context or adding a user IDs. And this one to create a template, you can use a classification equal template and type equal template project. So be aware that this behavior is slightly different from get, and this is one of the confusing things if you only adapting get to use in post. So another tips here. And it will be those endpoint. This endpoint will return job ID, but again, job ID, there is no method at this point to check the status with job ID. This will be a future enhancement. And then again, no updates API. So just to be aware that we are aware. So the next one, next set of endpoint is for project users. The first two is retrieving a list of project users and project user with a given project, given user ID. And this is compatible with BIM 360 and ACC. So this is a GET. So GET is compatible for BIM 360 and ACC. And then authentications, it supports 3 types. So the next one is other project user or list of project users. And the first one is for single user, and the second one, import, is a group of users. And then this is ACC project only, and 3LO, 2LO plus user impersonation. Once again, I'm kind of repeating this. User context required. You need to use user IDs. And add templates owners. So you can also add the template owners, not the default user. So this one, we'll come back this a little bit later, but meaning that when you are defining template, if you are familiar with the UI, you'll probably recognize that there is 2 types of members there. Template owner listing, and then also the default users who will be copied to a newly created project. This post users will add only the template owners, not the default users. The default user is still to come. So this is another kind of tip here. And then import is V2. So if we don't say this, you probably don't even notice that there is a V1 endpoint with any other endpoint listed here, except this import. Import is V2. So especially if you have been a user of beta API, you are probably using V1 and it still works and behaves the same way. So just to be aware, right now we haven't declared that the V1 will be deprecated, but at one point we may do so. So just to be aware, and then while we are talking about, you may want to go back, especially if you have a code already, you may want to go back and double check here. And import returns job ID, same as the previous post project. It's returned the job ID. But again, this will be a future enhancement. And in future, we'll be able to check the status of job by this job IDs. And then Tom will explain how to check with the currently available APIs later. So the next one is patch. This will update the project users and ACC project only. And then once again, authentication will be requiring user context. And then update the configuration member. So once again, if you are using templates, this one is specifically for the template. If you are using updating a template, this would be a configuration member, not the default users in the template, which will be eventually copied into the new project. And remove a project, delete is to remove a project users. It's probably you get the ideas. And the same restriction as other Light API, ACC project, and then BIM 3LO and 2LO with user impersonation. And then again, this will work to remove the configuration members. That means that the owner who configure the templates. Okay, so for next couple of slides, I'm just pointing out something you may overlook, especially, if you are like me, I usually look at the documentation carefully after we encounter things that work. So just pointing that. So some of the pages show like a filter by products. So there is a difference between ACC and BIM 360 product offering. ACC is called by products, while BIM 360 is called by services. And ACC has, for instance, build, docs, takeoff, and then you also see some of the build offering include the cost and then auto specs. So those are the ones you see other ACC project products included in ACC project. While if you are the user of BIM 360, you may notice that there is slightly different wording for calling services in BIM 360. So for instance, let's take the docs. Docs in ACC will be equivalent one will be document management in BIM 360. And then also field management versus build in the build in ACC. So as you can see, there is some the different way of calling services and then products. So just to be aware that when you are creating ACC, you should be checking those ACC products. While if you are getting BIM 360 project, then you will see the different set of names, even though you may be still referring to the similar the products. Okay, so the ACC Unified Product Service Access. So in this release, the scope is about project admin. And when you see in the UI, equivalent part in the UI will be listed under project admin. And if you click on each member, you see the assigned product and permissions listed. So this is the one that you see in the product, the assigned product or filter product in the area endpoint. And I also want to mention explicitly that not in this scope, so just there's overlap here. In this scope is that in the UI, you can assign license of the ACC product in two ways. One is going to manage.autodesk.com. This is accessible by everybody, but only the contract owner can see this and then assign the license. And another way will be in the ACC product itself, you can go to account admin, and then you can go to the members and then assign product. So there's a two way to assign license itself. And also ACC offers so-called bring your own license or bring your own subscription. That means that once you have a subscription license, then you can use your own to join somebody else's account as well. But the BIM 360 is not like that. So there is some differences, the assigning licenses. This part is not supported by current project, the user project API. So just to be aware. So as a workaround, even though this doesn't help you to completely automate, but as a workaround, product team suggests that in the manage.autodesk.com, when you are assigning users, you can actually import CSV file to bulk the import name of the people who you want to assign the license. So this might be a little bit of help, although, as I said, this doesn't automate in a way you probably planning to do completely with services or programming. And project template. So the couple of times I mentioned this configuration users. So when you go to a project templates, then you will see a configuration at the top left corners, And then also members and notification. So if you go to the members, you'll see the project members page, and then there you can add the project members. This will be the list of the users who will be copied to a new project when you create a project. But this one, no API to populate. On the other hand, if you click on the configurations at the top on the left side, and then go to permission, and then you will see the template members. This template member is a member who manages this template creation itself. That means that this is a list of members who had the authority to change this template. For instance, changing member of the default project members, or which one you want to include, for instance, the other vertical product. Okay, so this one, post-project users, the ones I explained earlier, will work to add configuration users. So just to be aware, this is something in ourselves also wondered where the user goes when we use. So just to be aware, the location that the user will be assigned when you are assigning using API will be this one, the yellow one. Okay, then available resources. We have a documentation. We have one step-by-step tutorial. It has quite a detailed explanation, even though it might be a little bit too much and confusing. That's the reason why we kind of set up this webinar to explain this a little bit more clearly. And we, of course, we have a reference guide. And then Tom actually put together Postman Collection to help in case you are new or you want to have something handy to troubleshoot. So now I'm passing this one to Tom, and then he can explain more details.
Thank you, Mikako. So you can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, so thanks, Mikako, for the detailed explanation for all the new endpoints. And then next, I'm going to demonstrate how to create ACC project and assign project users using the new ACC admin API by Postman. So here is the GitHub repo, which is public. You can get it and you can open the link and download the collections. So let me just show you here. So yeah, this is a GitHub repo, and this you can see from the repo there is one ACC project setup tutorial. Yeah, if you open that, you will see the detailed introduction about how to use the step-by-step tutorial. It's basically similar as the steps as we mentioned in our documentation step-by-step tutorial. Yeah. So now I'm going to do a live demo here. So here, if you import the collection into your Postman, you will see this ACC project setup tutorial, and it has two folders. The first one is 2-legged token tutorial, and the next one is 3-legged token tutorial, because the ACC admin API support both 2-legged and 3-legged. The workflow is a little different. It's mainly on the preparation. The difference is mainly on the preparation. So here I will use the 2-legged token tutorial workflow to do the demonstration. So the first step you need to do is to set up the environment variables here. So just open the first endpoint, go to pull request script here. You can see there are a couple of keys variable you need to set up. So for example, you need to set up your client ID, client secret, and the account name which you want to play with. And if you want to create a new project from a template, so please specify the template project name here. And also, please specify the new project name you want to create. Yeah, last but not least, So for the two-legged token workflow, you also need to have an admin user to create the project. So here you need to specify the one admin. You need to specify the email address of one admin. So after that, you just click send. It will set up all the environment automatically. But this does not make sense for this. The value is not correct. So this is my value. I will just use this one. I set up the environment. You can see you see here, you can see that all the environment is set. So next. So after that, I will get a two-legged token here, which is pretty easy. And then I will with the two-legged access token, I will get my ACC account ID. Yeah, I specify the account name here, and then okay, you can say okay, I get the account ID. And I need to also find the admin ID by the email address. Yeah, this is the email address. I need to run it. Now I can get the email ID, get the admin ID here. So the last one is that we need to get the template project ID. Like I said, for the tutorial, we want to create a project based on a template. So we need to get the template ID. So you can get it by specify the filter classification to template, which Mikako mentioned before. So and you can also specify the template project name. So yeah, we run it. You will get the template as you want. So this time I'm using this template. Yeah, this template. So now we come to the core endpoint. We are going to create a new project based on this template. So here, this is the project name I specified already, and this is the template ID I just get from the previous step. So you can also specify some other properties here. So then we just click send. Okay, so now you can see a new project, like ACC project by John for webinar is created. If you check the details here, you can see that there's in the products list, there are different products with a different status. If you check the docs, it says activating, and you check other products, they are all activating because it's not active yet. So yeah, some are already active. You can see that. And if you also check the status for the product, it's for the project itself, it's pending. So which means the project is still in the progress to be activated. It's not fully activated. So and you need to, because like Mikako mentioned, we have job ID, but we don't have a public API to get the details of the job ID. So you cannot use that. The way currently we suggest is to check the project status by polling. You need to get the project details. For example, we call this one, and then we will get the project details. You can see that okay, we see the status of the project is already active. But if we check all the products, yeah, most of the products are already active, but the docs is still activating. Docs usually takes most of time. It sometimes takes like a couple of minutes to get activated. Depends on how complicated your the template is. So and because we created this project based on the template, we can also check. If we go back to go back here, yeah, we check webinar. We use the UI. Okay. Okay, you can see that the new project is created already. But there's no members, as you can see. There's no members here. And remember, I created this project from this template. And this template actually has some members already. But all these members are not assigned to the new created project already. So there is one step you need to do is to add a project admin to trigger this process. So let's go back here. So if you want to get all the members from the template member, so you need to add a project admin to trigger this process. So here I'm going to, this is an admin email. I'm going to add myself as a project admin to trigger this process. Let me do this one. Okay, so now you can see that I added myself as a project admin into this project. So yeah, I just added myself as a docs admin and a project admin. Yeah. So if we check the UI, okay, now you will see. So myself is a project admin in the for this project, and this will trigger the process to get all the members from the template. Yeah, but it takes time. Usually, it takes a couple of minutes. You can see the result. But how can you know if all the members from the template are already are assigned to the new project? You can use this endpoint to confirm all the members are there. So I just use this endpoint to get all the project users, and you will see still only one, which is myself. So it means the members from template are not copied yet. So like I said, it takes some minutes. So let's take some minutes to get this done. And at the same times, if you want to assign more project users, you can still use this the step 3, step 3B here. You can use this V2 endpoint to assign multiple users to this project. I won't do this now because we want to say it clearly that how many that the members from the template are copied to the new project. And of course, you can do some others. For example, you can configure the project member. You can, for example, I want to change the product access for this member. I can use the patch endpoint here. I can also remove the project members by the endpoint. So we will not do this, but we will check. We will check here how many users are. Okay, still one user. So like I say, if we check from UI here, I think it's still not yet copied. So, okay, still one user. So we need to wait, and we need to wait until all the members are copied here. Okay, so let's go back to the, this is the main step, to create a new project based on template, and you can also assign members. You can also get copy all the members from template and assign your own members. And also if you want to update the project user information, you can also do that. That's the main process here. Let's go back to the slide. But until now, I believe you will have some questions and confusions related. And now let's talk about some frequently asked questions we got after release. So the first question which we hear quite often is about the template project member, which I just demonstrated. And the developers reported that these members are not added to the new created project. So there are a couple of reasons as a conclusion, I listed some reasons here. There are 3 reasons. So the first reason, which is very very typical, is because the developer missed the step 3A to add a project admin to the new created project. So you need to do this step to trigger the process to copy all the members from template. This is different from the UI. By the UI, you don't need to do that. Yourself will be automatically added into the project as a project admin. But for the API, this should be done manually, because this provides the flexible to give the flexibility to the developer. They can choose if they want to copy the template members or not. But like I said, it takes time. Let's go back and check here. Okay, now you can see that all the 4 members from the you can see the 4 members from the template member are copied into the new created project. So, and if I use the API to check, I should say 4 members. Yeah, there are total 4 members listed here. So now you can see the members are copied to the new created project. So this is the first. This is most of times, because developers are missed this step. But sometimes they added a project admin to the new created project, but still these members from template are not copied. That's because you need to add project admin immediately after the new project is created, usually within 1 hour. For example, here, with my workflow, I just created a project, right? And after that, I add a project admin which is good, and it will trigger the process. But if you do this step after, for example, after 1 hour, when the project is fully activated, and this step will just add 1 project admin. This will not trigger the copy process. Remember that. And the last case is sometimes people are confused with the 2 members in project template, like Mikako mentioned. So you can see here in a template, we have the members. We call it a template project member here. This member will be assigned to the new created project by default. But there is also another member. It's not here. Sorry, I just So in the template, this is template. So you can see here, this is we call it a template project members here. This member will be copied to the new created project. But we do have another list of member. We usually call it configuration member here. Yeah, you can see that there are some other members. Here this we call it like configuration members, and these members can create project from the template and contribute to its content. You can kind of like consider them as a project template owner. So this member will never be copied assigned to the new project. Sometimes developers are confused with this one. They are asking why these members are not copied. But remember, these members are not expected to copy it to the new created project. So in short, so my suggestion is that when you create a new project from template, if you want to assign all the members from template to the new created project, please remember to use this endpoint, to add at least one project admin immediately after the new project is created, not more than 1 hour. Okay. That's the first question. The next question, which we hear quite often, is how to tell if the new project is ready. And here is the question. So the developer mentioned that he created a project by the API, and he needed to upload some files to the docs folder. But how can he tell whether the project is ready to make such an operation? So as I mentioned before, so after you create a project, unfortunately you cannot use the job ID to get the status. So you need to use the pull project status to get the information, to get the status. So the status you need to pay attention is not only the status of the project, but also the status of the products. For example, docs, you need to check if the docs product is already active. So my suggestion is that please make sure the project and the product are all active, and then you can do such operation. So that's the most frequently asked questions recently. Now I'm going to hand it back over to Mikako, and Mikako will talk more about the current known limitations of the API. Yeah, Mikako, I will stop sharing. Yeah, I can see your screen, Mikako.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Tom. All right, so at this point we probably talked about a lot of known issues now. So this is kind of summary. So the missing API we are aware of is updates and remove project, and also adding a default members. As I mentioned a few times, the configuration member is the one the API support, right, as of today. And then industrial roles is also, we have this compatibility questions. So we need to clarify that. And then hopefully we'll have a newer versions soon. And something, your feedback will probably help us to escalate that one to product team as well. So don't hesitate to ask us or check with us. And then assign product license. This is mainly for the account admin side of features. If you look at the product modules or features carefully, but again, this is ACC features, and we are chasing after this as well. And then checking job status ID with a job status with a job ID is another one which should follow. And then again, this will be kind of wish, but it's an ideal side of wish that to have a webhooks to notify us when the job is done, rather than polling many times. And where to get help from here? So one of the reasons why we set up this webinar is that we are fully aware that we still have some missing features, gaps. And then also the documentation is far from ideal. And we have given some feedback even before we released, but we are still seeing some of the things which still confusing. That's why, I pointed out some of the things even within the documentation. So be patient, but if you hit some problems, don't hesitate to contact us So if you go to aps.autodesk.com, there is a button, the menu called support. If you go there, there will be a link to Stack Overflow and then also email to aps.help@autodesk.com. Those two basically goes to the same backend systems, and then the APS team will be regularly monitoring. And then another one, third option will be a 101 with a Calendly. We use some system called Calendly, 101 appointment systems. You can choose appropriate engineers and then ask questions there as well. Just to, we get question about where to get the question, and where to ask questions. So just pointing to that. And next to the support, you also see a community menus. Under community menu, there will be events and also accelerator is listed as well. So accelerator is the on-site or virtual event, which will be like a 1 week long coding event. So the process will be that you sign up with your own proposal. Rather than doing some tutorials we prepare, you actually bring your own project close to what you want to do, and then do the proof of concept implementation within 1 week. And that's the idea of accelerator. And in the next slide, we'll show you the ones we are planning right now. And then another thing is a boot camp. This will be the instructor following instructors and follow the get started the project, which you also see in under aps.autodesk.com. And this one will be you can find the registration link under the community events. And we have two at this point planned. One is in January. This one includes ACC data model, and then April. And this is TBD, but maybe you can help us plan. So in April, we get some requests to include ACC. However, the marketing team who asking us can't tell exactly what kind of the training or the getting started material they want to have. So if you have some idea, which one will be the good one? It could be admin API like this one or issues API. If you have some ideas, let us know. We are still planning phase. At this point, we are thinking those two, admin issues. But if you have better ideas, let us know. And in terms of accelerator, we have actually four. The virtual one in February is actually the same as Boston. So we have four lined up, and Boston, London, Munich, and this week it's ongoing in Shanghai, China. And boot camp, so January event for those of you who have joined those, the first 3 days will be the same as in the past. So basic one, APS on Monday, and second day focusing on viewer. Third day will be a design automation. And then fourth day is something new. So as you heard at the AU, we have released ACC data model API, which allows you to access Revit property data directly through in the cloud instead of opening Revit file, for instance. So this new API will be included in January 1. So in case you are interested in. And with that, so today we talked about the project admin API, and that's all helped us to go a little bit deep inside of the API, showing GitHub, the Postman Collections. And then he also, from his experience, shared a lot of tips and some pitfalls making it work. So, and then lastly, we listed known limitations. With that, thank you very much. And now I think we can open for questions.
Yeah.
So I see we answered some questions. but
Yeah, maybe
so the first one, yeah. So recording, yes, we are recording right now, and then I think at this point it looks okay. So we'll post it to probably YouTube and the APS channel. We'll do that as soon as possible. And then I'll update the blog post with a link. We put the blog post about this webinar, I believe. So I'll put that all the links. And then there was a request about the link to GitHub. So I just put it in here, but you should be able to search by ACC Postman Collection in GitHub repo too. So, and there was one suggestion. I may have missed it, but suggests that information about admin user being required, making it easier in API reference documentation. I completely agree with you, Sean. We should improve documentation and then put it there. I'll take a note, or I'll even make a copy on this page and then give it to documentation team. ACS tech write, we have the tech writer designated for the ACS documentation page. So definitely we will pass it. I think they are still working on it. So for instance, like I keep telling, I probably said 10 times about the authentication. That one is a little bit confusing too, I know. So those are the ones that we wanted to augment by providing the webcast. And then there is another one, again, Sean was talking about the performance.
yeah.
So you wanted to comment on that. I think we had this discussion. I have a feeling we had this discussion internally too, didn't we? Maybe not. Well, anyway, so do you have any comments?
Yeah, I answered in the question, but I just want to mention that because I personally I think this is a good question, but personally I don't see a big difference between UI and API, because the UI also leverages the API to do the work, to create a project, and also if you based on a template, it will also copy all the settings from the template to the new project. Basically, it should be the same thing. So I don't expect a bigger performance difference when you do the UI or API. But Sean mentioned that he seems to say that when we do from the API, it seems takes much longer time. Yeah, that part we may need to check more details if the template is is complicated, or you do something extra work. We may need to, but so far we don't see a big differences between the UI and API.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So maybe another question is, David asked the question before. It looks like it's a continuation with the, yeah.
David asks about if we can assign additional project users to the project, and yes, they can always assign any users to the project by the import user APIs. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, Mikako, you want to answer the question Sean mentioned? Maybe you want to mention V2 vs V1 as shown in some of the examples.
Okay. Maybe you want to mention B2 versus B1 as showing some of the example. Yeah, B2. Yes. I think I mentioned that in listing. Was it not enough? So yes, V2 in import is v2. Only this one. So this one, I had to put it big. Maybe I should put it like, or yeah. So yeah, only this one import is v2. So be aware. And then what I would suggest to not you to the internal people will be that if there is some people who are still using V1 endpoint, it should be possible to identify by client ID. So if we are deprecating V1 very soon, then we'll definitely contact those people. So for those of you who are attending today, please make sure you are aware of this and then change it to V2. Okay. So we had more questions. So it's
Yeah. The next one,
Okay.
Sean, he put the comments that for the performance difference between UI and API. Yes, you can check the detail if you do see the performance difference between UI and I mean, if you do see the performance is much better for the UI than the API. Just let us know. We can do the check. Yeah.
Okay. Sean, thank you very much. I now understand what he meant. So he was not talking about this one. So he just kindly pointing us to talk about the authentication. This V2.
Yeah.
Yes. So be aware, we used to use V1 and now it's V2. So we need to move that. And then I think there is a blog post about I think it's written by Jaime, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Actually.
Jaime, and then I'm doing this because yeah, this one. Yeah, the search in this page is not always hidden. So just to be aware, we are changing V2 and deprecation data is set. So maybe I'll just copy this endpoint to chat window.
And I believe most of our samples are already migrated to V2. So
Yes, hopefully. Okay, so thank you very much, Sean. And then another thing, definitely don't hesitate to the contact us. And sometimes it's funny when you are trying to contact us, you find a solution. It happens too, and that's okay. So instead of hitting your head for a long time, feel free to contact us. Yeah. And then also, if something is missing, and especially the ones we didn't list today, let us know, because we may be missing something and you may be assuming we are aware. We are usually good at catching, at least our team is usually aware, but you never know. So don't hesitate to contact us.
yeah, another suggestion, Michael suggested that because currently when developer ask questions from Stack Overflow, they can only tag ACC API, but they cannot tag some details. For example, this is a ACC admin API question, but they cannot tag ACC admin with the details. Maybe we can improve that the tag with more details because now
Yeah, we need to have certain number in order to have a tag. We cannot create this group within one or two tags. That's what Augusto was telling me. But anyway, yeah, we may want to make a grouping. Not like every single services, but maybe with a group by product, for instance. Okay, so I think
there's another one question from Dalshon. He said, yeah, he may join a little late, and his question is, will the workflows in the template copied to the new project created from the template using API? And yeah, I think the answer should be, if you ask if we can use the API to create a project from template, then the answer is yes. You can use the API to create a new project based on the template, and all the settings from the template will be automatically copied to the new project. But it should follow the same behavior as the UI did. But one thing you need to remember is that you need to assign a project admin to the new project when after you created the new project. So which we mentioned a couple of times during our presentation. Yeah.
okay, so I think we hit the 1 hour. Maybe we need to wrap up.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, Sean, thank you very much. He was suggesting the endpoint to pull approved time zone and product type, etc. Yeah, we'll put the wish list.
Yeah. So yeah, approved time zone product types. So that do you mean the products of the products and types of the project? If that, I think you can get it if you use get the project details, you will see that. When creating a project, yes, when you create a project, you will get when you create a project, it will immediately respond you with the current status of the products and some types. You can get that. You can also get that information if you use get project details in endpoint. I think the products and types should be already in the response.
I think he's asking to get the list of time zone and then product endpoint to have those. It's hard coded in the documentation right now.
Oh. Yeah, if you want to get a list of the time zones, products or types, yes, this is like Mikako said, it's just hard code in the documentation. We don't have API to get them dynamically. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we should wrap up, and people started to drop off as well. So then I can go to. So thank you once again, and this concludes our today's webinars.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for joining. Bye bye.